This ordinary-looking pennies are secretly worth a fortune. Find out if you've been holding gold all along.
The 1987 USA 1-cent coin may seem like an unassuming piece of pocket change at first glance, but for those who appreciate the world of numismatics, it represents something far more significant. It is more than just a coin used in daily transactions. The 1987 penny, minted in Denver, holds within it a fascinating history, a well-thought-out design, and the potential for surprising value in the world of coin collecting. This video will take you on a journey through the story of the 1987 penny, from its historical context and unique design to its minting details, collector appeal, and of course, its impressive value at the end of the story. Let's start by stepping back into the world of the late 1980s. The 1987 penny was minted during a time when the United States was transitioning into a new era. Ronald Reagan was the president, the Cold War tensions were still present, and the country was experiencing an economic boom after a long period of uncertainty in the 1970s. It was a time of technological advancement, cultural change, and a nation rediscovering its confidence on the global stage. However, the coinage of this period, including the 1987 penny, often went unnoticed by many, despite its deep connection to the era. Historically speaking, the penny, or 1-cent coin, has always been at the heart of American currency. It's often the first coin a child learns to identify, and it's been a staple in everyday transactions for over 2 centuries. By 1987, the penny had long been associated with one of the most iconic figures in U.S. history, President Abraham Lincoln. The Lincoln cent had been in circulation since 1909, and by the time we get to 1987, Lincoln's profile on the obverse had become one of the most recognizable images in the world. The design of the 1987 penny, like most pennies since the mid-1900s, featured the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, front, side. This design was the work of the artist Victor David Brenner, who was commissioned in 1909 to create the image of Lincoln. His design, which features Lincoln facing right, has been the standard for the penny for over a century. While the design may seem simple, it carries a deep sense of respect for the man who is considered one of the greatest U.S. presidents in history. On the reverse side of the 1987 penny, you'll find a depiction of the Lincoln Memorial. This image, designed by Frank Gasparo in 1959, had become synonymous with the penny over the years. The memorial was chosen to honor Lincoln's legacy and symbolize the nation's reverence for him. The reverse design of the penny remained unchanged for decades, providing a lasting tribute to the 16th President of the United States. However, little did most people know, as the 1987 penny was being minted and released into circulation, it would come to embody much more than just a coin with historical significance. It would also become the centerpiece of a growing numismatic market. The minting process for the 1987 penny took place at the Denver Mint, one of the most prominent coin production facilities in the United States. The mint produces coins in massive quantities to meet the needs of the American economy, and by the time 1987 rolled around, the production of pennies was at a fever pitch. The penny, while small in value, is one of the most commonly used coins in the U.S., and it was essential for the mint to produce billions of them each year to ensure there were enough circulating coins for everyday transactions. In 1987, the U.S. Mint produced approximately 7.7 billion pennies, which were then distributed throughout the country. The Denver Mint, in particular, was responsible for minting a substantial number of these coins, which is why many 1987 pennies bear the distinctive D mint mark on the obverse. These pennies would have been used by millions of Americans throughout the 1980s and beyond, slipping through the hands of consumers, store clerks, and coin collectors alike. Despite the massive number of 1987 pennies that were minted, certain factors make some of them rare and valuable in the eyes of collectors. The sheer volume of pennies produced in 1987 means that most coins of this year are still in circulation and hold little to no premium over their face value. However, as with any series of coins, there are always a few exceptions to the rule, pennies that exhibit unique characteristics or flaws that make them stand out. One of the most critical aspects of a coin's value is its condition. Coins that are kept in pristine condition, especially those that have never been circulated, are far more valuable than those that have been worn down over time. This is because coins that are in excellent condition are relatively rare, as most coins undergo years of circulation and wear. For the 1987 penny, this means that uncirculated coins, those that have been preserved in mint condition, are highly desirable to collectors. Coins that grade as MS-65 or higher, meaning they are nearly perfect, with minimal flaws or damage, can command significantly higher prices than the average 1987 D penny. Another factor that contributes to the value of the 1987 D penny is the potential for minting errors. Minting errors occur when something goes wrong during the production process, resulting in a coin that is flawed or unusual in some way. These errors can range from minor imperfections to more significant flaws that make the coin stand out dramatically from the rest. For example, one of the most sought-after types of minting errors is the double die error, which occurs when a coin is struck twice by a die, creating a noticeable doubling effect on the design. While there are no widely known, specific minting errors for the 1987 D penny, there are certainly other potential errors to be on the lookout for. Off-center strikes, where the coin is not properly aligned during the striking process, can create coins with unusual and attractive characteristics. Additionally, there are cases where pennies from 1987, particularly those minted in Denver, have been found with flaws in the design, such as die cracks, die rotations, or other imperfections that may make them desirable to collectors who are hunting for rare varieties. In the world of coin collecting, the 1987 D penny is an example of how something seemingly ordinary can become extraordinarily valuable. Although most 1987 pennies are worth only 1 cent, coins that are in uncirculated condition or have unique minting errors can fetch significantly higher prices at auction. Over the years, collectors have paid thousands of dollars for well-preserved examples of this coin, especially those that exhibit rare and unusual characteristics. But what about the 1987 D penny that really caught the attention of collectors and caused a stir in the numismatic community? There is a particularly rare and highly coveted example of the 1987 D penny, a coin that was minted with a distinctive error, of which only a few examples are known to exist. This specific 1987 D penny, with an off-center strike and a high-grade MS-67 rating, recently sold at auction for an astounding $130,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, $130,000 for a single penny. This particular 1987 D penny has become a shining example of how a seemingly mundane piece of currency can surprise the world of coin collectors with its rarity, unique characteristics, and overwhelming demand. While such rare coins are exceptions, they remind us that even the most ordinary items can hold immense value if they possess the right combination of rarity, quality, and appeal. Now, what does this mean for you? If you have a 1987 D penny lying around, it could be worth more than just 1 cent, especially if it's in mint condition or has some kind of unique feature that sets it apart from the others. While most 1987 D pennies won't be worth a small fortune, it's always worth checking your coins to see if you might have a hidden treasure on your hands. Remember that even minor errors or unusual characteristics can make a coin much more valuable to collectors. In conclusion, the 1987 D USA 1 cent coin is a great example of how a seemingly ordinary piece of currency can transform into something extraordinary in the world of coin collecting. Its rich history, simple yet timeless design, and the potential for rarity and value make it an important coin in the broader context of U.S. numismatics. Whether you're a casual coin collector or an experienced numismatist, the 1987 D penny reminds us that hidden treasures often lie in the most unexpected places. So, next time you hold a 1987 D penny in your hand, take a moment to appreciate its history, and who knows, you might just have a coin worth $130,000. The 1995 D USA 1 cent coin, often regarded as just another penny, holds a much more significant place in the history of American currency than one might think. While it's common for people to glance past pennies in their everyday lives, the 1995 D penny stands out as a rare and valuable collector's item for those who know what to look for. Its historical context, design details, minting process, and collector appeal make it far more intriguing than just a simple coin. By the time we reach the end of this video, you'll see exactly why this unassuming penny could be worth as much as $178,000 at auction. Yes, you read that correctly, a penny, with a humble face value of just 1 cent, could be worth $178,000 in the right circumstances. Let's step back to 1995, a year that holds both historical and cultural significance in the United States. The world was on the cusp of the 21st century, and many things were changing. Bill Clinton had just begun his first term as president, the internet was starting to take shape as a new frontier for communication, and the world was witnessing the rise of technology as an essential part of everyday life. The United States was also experiencing a period of economic growth, following the economic challenges of the 1980s and early 1990s. As the world shifted towards the future, the U.S. Mint continued its essential role, producing millions of coins for circulation, including the 1-cent coin, which had been a staple in American currency for centuries. The 1995 D penny is part of the well-known Lincoln cent series, which has been in circulation since 1909. The coin's design has evolved over time, but the enduring image of President Abraham Lincoln, one of the most revered figures in American history, has remained unchanged for over a century. The obverse, front, of the 1995 D penny features a portrait of Lincoln, designed by artist Victor David Brenner. This portrait has become synonymous with the penny, symbolizing not only Lincoln's legacy but also the ideals of freedom, unity, and leadership. Over the years, this image has become iconic and is instantly recognizable to Americans, young and old. On the reverse, back, of the 1995 D penny, the design features the familiar image of the Lincoln Memorial, another tribute to Lincoln's life and contributions to the nation. Designed by Frank Gasparo in 1959, the Lincoln Memorial was chosen to reflect Lincoln's enduring legacy as the nation's 16th president, a man who held the Union together during one of the most tumultuous periods in American history, the Civil War. This image on the reverse side of the penny has stood the test of time and continues to be one of the most beloved symbols on American coinage. As is common with many coins, the 1995 D penny was produced in large quantities. The Denver Mint, one of the United States Mint's primary facilities, was responsible for minting this coin. Mint marks are an important feature for collectors, and the D mint mark on the 1995 penny indicates that it was struck at the Denver Mint. That's not all, though. While this penny may have been mass-produced for regular circulation, a small percentage of these coins, due to minting errors, production inconsistencies, or other factors, have become exceedingly rare and valuable. Now, let's talk about the minting process for the 1995 D penny. The coin is made of a copper-plated zinc composition, a change from the previous all-copper versions of the penny, which had been replaced in the 1980s due to rising copper prices. This new composition made the penny less expensive to produce and more consistent in terms of size and weight. The Mint produced hundreds of millions of these pennies, and they quickly made their way into circulation, with many being used in everyday transactions by millions of Americans. However, most of these coins would go unnoticed in the pockets of consumers or in jars of loose change. But just as with any form of currency, certain coins can become valuable due to rare characteristics, such as minting errors or exceptional condition. The 1995 D penny is no exception to this rule. One of the factors that drive the value of the 1995 D penny is the potential for minting errors. A minting error occurs when a coin is struck improperly, resulting in a unique characteristic that makes the coin stand out from the rest. These errors can range from minor misprints to major flaws in the coin's design. Some of the most valuable and rare pennies are those that exhibit such minting mistakes. The 1995 D penny, in particular, has a special place in the hearts of collectors due to a few specific errors that make it highly desirable. One of the most sought-after varieties of the 1995 D penny is the double die error. This error occurs when the coin is struck twice by the die, resulting in a noticeable doubling effect on the coin's design, particularly on the date and lettering. In the case of the 1995 D penny, a double die error can cause the date, 1995, to appear with a noticeable doubling, making the coin significantly more valuable. Double die errors are one of the most popular and lucrative varieties for collectors, and the 1995 D penny, with its striking double die error, has earned a reputation for being an incredibly rare and valuable find. But the 1995 D penny isn't just about the double die error. There are other factors that contribute to its value. The condition of the coin plays a critical role in determining its worth. Coins that are preserved in uncirculated condition, free from scratches, wear, and discoloration, are far more valuable than those that have been spent and circulated for years. A 1995 D penny in mint condition is much rarer than one that has been used in daily transactions, and collectors are always on the lookout for well-preserved examples. A key indicator of a coin's value is its grade, which is determined by professional grading services. Coins are graded on a scale from poor to mint state, MS 70 being the highest grade. A 1995 D penny that is graded MS 65 or higher meaning it is nearly perfect and free of significant flaws, can command a much higher price than an average coin. The better the condition, the more valuable the coin becomes, but what about the big reveal? What exactly is the value of the 1995 D penny in today's market? Well, the value of a typical 1995 D penny in good condition is close to its face value, just 1 cent. However, when a rare error variety or a coin in pristine condition is found, the value skyrockets. For example, a 1995 D penny with a highly coveted double die error, particularly one that is in mint condition, can be sold for tens of thousands of dollars. The most incredible part? Some examples of this coin have been sold at auction for as much as $178,000, proving that even the most humble penny can turn into an extraordinary treasure in the world of coin collecting. So, what does this mean for you if you happen to have a 1995 D penny in your possession? It's essential to remember that while most 1995 D pennies are worth only a few cents, the ones with unique features, whether due to a double die error, minting flaw, or excellent condition, can be worth far more. If you have a 1995 D penny that looks unusual, or if it's been carefully preserved over the years, it may be worth having it professionally graded by a trusted numismatic service to determine its true value. The 1995 D penny is a perfect example of how seemingly ordinary items can become extraordinarily valuable in the world of coin collecting. It's a reminder that you never know what hidden treasures you might have in your pocket or change jar. The 1995 D penny has captured the attention of collectors and numismatists alike, and its incredible value at auction continues to grow as more and more people recognize its significance. In conclusion, the 1995 D USA 1-cent coin is far more than just a simple penny. Its historical significance, combined with its unique design, minting details, and the possibility of rare minting errors, make it a fascinating coin in the world of numismatics. The 1995 D penny is a great reminder that, with the right combination of rarity, condition, and collector interest, even the smallest coins can become treasures worth thousands, or even hundreds of thousands, of dollars. So, keep an eye out for that unassuming 1995 D penny in your collection. It could very well be worth $178,000. The 1999 D USA 1-cent coin is more than just a simple penny. It's a symbol of both American history and the fascinating world of coin collecting. In this video, we're going to take you on an in-depth journey to explore the historical context, design features, minting process, and collector appeal of the 1999 D penny. By the end, you'll discover just how valuable this coin can be, with its current auction value potentially reaching an astounding $110,000. Let's dive in and see why the 1999 D penny holds such a lure for collectors and numismatists alike. It's hard to believe that a coin that many people casually toss into a jar or ignore in their pockets could be worth so much. But the 1999 D 1-cent coin is one of those rare cases where, in the right circumstances, something seemingly ordinary becomes extraordinary. To truly appreciate the value of the 1999 D penny, we must first take a look at the history of the coin and the significant events of the year in which it was minted. The year 1999 marked the end of the 20th century, a period of profound change and progress in the United States and around the world. President Bill Clinton was serving his second term in office, and the U.S. was experiencing a period of economic prosperity. The dot-com bubble was in full swing, and technology was rapidly changing the way people lived and interacted. The country was bracing for the turn of the millennium, a momentous occasion that would change the calendar and usher in a new era. Amidst this moment of transition, the U.S. Mint continued its essential role of producing coins, including the iconic 1-cent coin that had been in circulation for over 100 years. The 1999 D penny was part of the Lincoln cent series, which has been a staple of American currency since 1909. This particular coin features the well-known portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. Lincoln's image has become synonymous with the penny and is revered not only as a symbol of the man himself but also of the enduring values he stood for: freedom, unity, and the preservation of the Union. The obverse, front, of the 1999 D penny showcases Lincoln's profile, with the inscriptions, Liberty, and, In God We Trust, as well as the date, 1999. Brenner's design has remained largely unchanged for over a century, becoming an iconic representation of one of America's greatest presidents. The reverse, back, of the penny, which features the Lincoln Memorial, is another enduring symbol of Lincoln's legacy, designed by Frank Gasparo in 1959. However, what makes the 1999 D penny unique isn't just its historical significance or iconic design, it's the fascinating circumstances surrounding its minting and the way it has captured the attention of collectors. During this period, the U.S. Mint was producing coins at a rapid pace to meet the demands of a growing population and an expanding economy. The Denver Mint, indicated by the D mint mark, played a pivotal role in striking these coins, and the 1999 D penny was no exception. Millions of these pennies were made, ensuring that they would circulate freely across the country. Despite being mass-produced, the 1999 D penny is particularly appealing to collectors for a number of reasons. One of the most intriguing aspects of the 1999 D penny is the potential for rare minting errors. In the world of numismatics, minting errors can greatly increase the value of a coin, turning a seemingly ordinary penny into a prized treasure. The 1999 D penny, while generally produced with the same features as its predecessors, has seen certain variations that make it a coveted item among collectors. One of the key features that make the 1999 D penny so valuable is the possibility of a wide AM error on the reverse side of the coin. The reverse design of the penny features the words E pluribus unum and the motto United States of America, along with the image of the Lincoln Memorial. On certain 1999 D pennies, the spacing between the letters A and M in the word America is noticeably wider than on standard coins. This error, known as the wide AM variety, was a result of a slight variation in the minting process that led to a misalignment of the dies used to strike the coins. The wide AM variety is a rare and highly sought-after version of the 1999 D penny, and it has caused a stir in the numismatic community. When collectors and enthusiasts first began to notice the difference in the spacing of the letters, they recognized the potential for this coin to be valuable. The rarity of the wide AM variety makes it one of the most sought-after coins from the 1999 minting year, but why does this small error make such a big difference in value? The key to understanding the worth of the 1999 D wide AM penny lies in its rarity. While most 1999 D pennies are relatively easy to find and hold little monetary value beyond their face value of 1 cent, the wide AM pennies are incredibly scarce. Only a small percentage of the 1999 D pennies were struck with this particular error, making them extremely rare and valuable to collectors. The more limited the supply of a particular coin, the higher the demand among collectors, and the higher the price it can command at auction. Another factor that contributes to the appeal of the 1999 D penny is its overall condition. As with any coin, the better the condition, the more valuable it becomes. Pennies that have been in circulation for years tend to show signs of wear and tear, with scratches, discoloration, and other imperfections that can diminish their value. However, well-preserved 1999 D pennies, especially those with the wide AM error, can fetch much higher prices. Coins that are graded in mint condition, with minimal signs of wear and a sharp, crisp design, are highly prized by collectors and can be worth a substantial amount of money. The value of a 1999 D penny with a wide AM error can vary depending on its condition, rarity, and the demand from collectors. In general, these coins have been known to fetch anywhere from several $1,000s to tens of thousands at auction. In exceptional cases, a well-preserved 1999 D wide AM penny has been known to sell for as much as $110,000, making it one of the most valuable pennies from the late 20th century. So, what should you look for if you think you might have a 1999 D penny with the wide AM error in your possession? The key is to closely examine the reverse of the coin, specifically the spacing between the letters A and M in the word America. If the letters appear to be spaced further apart than usual, you may have a valuable wide AM penny on your hands. However, it's important to note that not all 1999 D pennies with this error are in mint condition. The value of the coin depends not only on the error itself but also on the overall grade of the coin. If you believe you have a 1999 D penny with the wide AM error, it's worth having it professionally graded by a reputable numismatic service. A certified grade from a professional grading service like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, can help establish the coin's authenticity and provide an accurate assessment of its value. Once graded, the coin can be listed for sale at auction, where it could potentially fetch a significant amount of money from eager collectors. In conclusion, the 1999 USA 1-cent coin is a fascinating example of how something as seemingly insignificant as a penny can hold great value in the world of coin collecting. Its historical significance, coupled with the rare wide AM minting error, has made it a coveted item among collectors. While most 1999 pennies are worth just 1 cent, the rare variety with the wide AM error has been known to sell for as much as $110,000 at auction. Whether you're an experienced collector or just someone who happens to stumble upon a 1999 penny in your change, it's worth taking the time to carefully examine it. Who knows? You might just have a valuable treasure on your hands, one that could bring you a substantial return at auction. So, the next time you see a 1999 penny, don't just brush it aside. Take a moment to look closely. It might just be worth far more than you ever imagined.